Hello. Let me just move my microphone here. I finally was able to get everything into the description box so I could save it. All right. Whew. So thank you for being here. Welcome to the daily political tarot and astrology here on the Black and Orange channel. Thank you for being here. I'm here every day. Every single day of the year, every weekday, weekend, holiday, your birthday, my birthday, I am here to take your political questions out of the chat. Just leave your questions in the chat before I come on. We have epic troll slayers who have kept us safe for years. Thank you. And we have got a fantastic community because you have been so kind to each other and so kind to me. Thank you. And if you're watching on replay, hello. You can go down in the description box. Hey. And all the questions are listed there. I timestamp them as I go, so you can pick and choose what you're interested in, or you can watch back on a higher speed, or whatever works best for you. So, hello, everybody. I'm glad you like the kitties. I couldn't figure out. If I'd had infinite time, I would have combined the styles of these two sets of eyes, because they're so pretty. But anyway, all right. It is time. Let's have a look. Did I get caught in the rain? No. I never go anywhere. Anyway, at 1 minute, 40 seconds in, I didn't necessarily see it. Maybe I missed it in the questions. But one thing I definitely think we need to start with is Vance planning his own internal coup? Not in the sense of 25th Amendment. No. He went to visit Murdoch by himself. And then suddenly, out of the blue, a while later, suddenly there's this letter being shown around. There's this stuff where it's almost as if Vance talked to Murdoch, and with all of the Epstein stuff coming out, or not, that suddenly things are kind of opening, a little space is starting to open up for the heinousness. So Shady Vance trying to nudge your boss out so you can take his job. Mm-hmm. Yep. Thank you, Touch Therapy for Kids. I like the rainbow kitties. Thank you. Try to do something positive. All right, Shady Vance. How shady are you? Debsy says Moses Johnson wants the info released too. Oh, well, yes, but no. I mean, he's been humming and hawing, hasn't he? Warm Halo says Vance probably told Murdoch to hold on because he's going to boot Trump out. I don't think he's going to need to. Trump's health is bad. There are nurses all over social media who are just saying that's not just what they're talking about. That's congestive heart failure. If he had that kind of circulation problem that they're talking about, one ankle would swell, the other one would swell, the other would swell, maybe back and forth or to different degrees or what. No, both equally very swollen. They're just like congestive heart failure, congestive heart failure, congestive heart failure. Deb Z says he recently said he wants it released. I think he has a deal with Shady. Well, he was saying he wanted it released, and it was like, oh my gosh, does the heretic's moral compass actually, found an iota of energy to kind of come back to life for a moment. But then he was, when asked more specifically, he was just, oh, no, I'm not saying anything about Trump or anything. No, of course. I'm just saying if there's something there. Mm-hmm. Touch Therapy for Kids says CHF, and it's at least stage 3 at this point. His team's been lying about his health for a long time. Why, yes. Mm-hmm. Beekeeper Tarot says, yeah, congestive heart failure, CHF. I'm an ex-registered nurse. Thank you. Look, you know me. I try to, there are bad things that happen in life, and so sometimes you've got to look for the humor. You know, when I pass, if whoever is left behind, you know, if they can crack jokes or do something to find some humor in it, I'm all for it. Not everybody's like that, but I am. It's so dark. That might be a little better. So, but I don't know. Nothing's happened yet, and we're not trying to, deal with grief. So I don't know that it's really fair, like they're doing on social media, to start calling it the big, beautiful funeral. That seems a little extreme to me. Oh, Shady Vance. Oh, what are you doing in the fog there? Huh? What little tidbits are you finding or pushing things? Mm-hmm. Mayor says watch for his organs to start shutting down. Maybe they have already. Fruits of labor. Leaving things unfinished. Ace of Wands. Knight of Cups. Four of Wands. You know, if Trump had any inkling of this, he would go absolutely out of his tiny, bigoted little mind. But this is, we just want to nudge him toward retirement. Just, and if you think Trump is just going to retire, you don't. You've been asleep for the last 10 years. Shady Vance is not going to handle this well. He's not. Look, I understand there are a lot of people in this administration who are several sandwiches short of a picnic. I get that. But Vance isn't quite as sharp and crafty and charismatic as he thinks he is at all. So good luck for trying to get you some health reason to get Trump to retire. Leave the work unfinished. This is all minor arcana. He's so awful. Beekeeper Tara says, you have to remember Shady does not like taco. There we go. Touch Therapy for Kids says Shady Vance is chomping at the bit. Yes. Jennifer Parr, that is a very good description. All the charisma of wet socks. What is his name? This guy on TikTok. You may know him. If you know in the chat, please let us know. Who's the cartoonist in on TikTok who does it's like wizards and fantasy cartoons, like a comic book-ish. Very blue. And one of the running gags is two wizards fighting, but they're throwing really weak little spells at each other. It's very cute. I cast Flower Beard. And the other wizard's there, and suddenly his beard just goes, flink, flowers. I cast Eternally Wet Socks. And then they go down to this guy's socks, and his feet wet, just flying around, and there's a foghorn goes off in the background. Yeah, that's Shady Vance. So, Foink, is that it, Linda Sue? Is so good. Yes. So, is Vance going to succeed? Is Vance going to... Oh, he's got such a narrow mind. It's hard to even... Oof. Flink. I think you're right. That is. Vance knows about Trump's health. That's what's happening. And if Vance knows about Trump's health, you can bet your bottom dollar so does Murdoch. Yeah, big medical issue raising its ugly head. That you'd think that would be Trump leaving, but no, this is the country. This is more Vance going do. I am all stealthy. I am going to go talk to Murdoch or do whatever. It's like, yeah, whatever. Because the card for the reading, that's more likely to happen than Vance being able to pull something off. Oh, I just had a terrible thought. What if they're not trying to get Trump to leave? What if they're trying to unalive him? Okay. 12:35 entertainment only YouTube. Is Murdoch to unalive Trump with shock and scandal? Yeah. Wizard of Id? Was that it? Could be. I like that. Jennifer Parr. Ooh, plot twist. I like it. Huh. Answers that's an easier way than the 25th. Yeah. Rob. Hey, Rob. Shock and awe, dear, look what happened. That's so good. That was good. That was good, Rob. Lover's card. Death card. Secrets. Emperor. Doctor. card for the reading. Throwing it all out there, all through one after the other, after one thing after the other, the next, the next, the next, the next. This is his base. End that connection. Secrets. Emperor. Doctor. Okay. Well, now. All right. Let's spread out the major arcana. Yeah, those cards they're a thing. Wow. So yeah, we know Peter Thiel wants Vance in. Whew, okay. Bismo. Dun dun dun. Yes. Jennifer Parr says, "Oh dear, looking rather grim, isn't it?" I still, I'm sitting here trying to think of, I still need to make a title for today, and I try to put the most, interesting things. Not quite sure how I could word that in the title. Oh boy. Okay. Well, let's go back to the kitties. Hello, kitties. Good kitties. Oof. Okay. Then we need to have a quick look at Vance. What's going to happen to Vance? Because if something happens to the orange Führer, thank you, Rose Blue, would probably just tear a tsunami. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Rose Blue. Okay, let's think this out for just a second here. All right. There is a cult. It's a cult of personality, and that is the human dumpster fire. That is Donald J. for Genius Trump, who has gotten away with everything for decades. All right. But he's still the big name. He's still the cornerstone of MAGA, and he has made certain that he remains the cornerstone of MAGA. He has not named a successor. And as a matter of fact, when asked if there was a successor, someone, who was it? Asked him point blank, is J.D. Vance your successor? He said, no, I don't think so. And then when he was asked again months later, he said, I forget who he said first, but he said somebody else, and then the Vance. So now, MAGA's angry. So the only thing that, okay, I'm trying not to jump ahead. MAGA is angry at Trump. And they're starting to get angry at this whole thing was by Trump was a grift. You don't say. So if something happens to Trump and he's suddenly out of the picture, there's a big funeral. We're not going to be able to avoid a big, beautiful funeral. We just aren't. And then Vance becomes president. He gets sworn in. Chill down my spine. And so you've got Speaker Mikey the Heretic in the House. You've got Vance in the presidency. Vance would try to keep some of the cruelest policies going. But would Vance be brushed with the same brush as the people who are leaving MAGA because of the Epstein mess? Would Vance get tarred with that same brush? On top of not being as charismatic as Dear Leader. So, what happens to Vance? There's just this weakness there. On paper, he should be able to just step in, be a Republican, be awful. He's already proven that he's a misogynist and disgusting. So sure, why not? Fits right in. But I never get, let me see, is there a change here? Because I don't get good cards about what happens to Vance. Oh, okay. Healthcare. That's a card for the reading. Yeah, okay, I'll just put that over there. Okay, so, there's judgment, huge judgment, justice. Sitting pretty in the middle. On paper, he should just be able to swan right into it. But then I have the Three of Cups here and the Five of Wands here. And this card, this Three of Cups can be either or both the parties that went on, the parties that Epstein had, and MAGA's still mad about that. It could also be more power shifting to the Democrats. But he's not the emperor. He's not even a king here. He's just a spoiled brat. That's all this is. But there's major arcana, judgment, justice in the near future. But then the cards for Vance are yuck. So, whew. What a day, what a day. All right, so now, as far as MAGA being angry that Trump stopped the whole Epstein gravy train in its tracks, or on its tracks, 2330. Retelling Savoy had some good questions. Thank you. I was so happy to see them when I came in this morning. It's like, oh, good questions. Retelling Savoy for the win. Usually I have things to read on, but every once in a while, especially like on a weekend, be a day where people just start asking questions and I have to go dig for questions myself. And but your questions are always better. Anyway. 24:15. There's a theme among the Sunday talk shows that this whole Epstein case is not eroding MAGA support for Orangina. The Teflon, the terracotta Teflon terrorist that he is. The talking heads say the Wall Street Journal article is now a hoax. You can go look at all of the other similar types of drawings he's done in the past. Did you know at one point he wanted to go to school to learn the flute? Did you know that? Oh, I'm interested in being a musician. He wanted to be a flutist. I'm not making that up. Anyway. Will this end up being more, excuse me, orange eggs sliding off a Teflon pan? Oh, not with some of them. Okay, a lot of them almost had their blinders knocked off. Because the whole reason I was showing that clip from Buffy early in the week was Ben is glory, glory is Ben. There's a spell that stops people from realizing that. So anytime they realize that Ben and glory switch back and forth, identities back and forth, there's a spell where they just magically forget. But there's one guy who happens to be a vampire who's immune. So he's trying to explain to this bunch of humans, Ben is glory, glory is Ben. Yes. Oh, they turn back and forth. So you're saying there's a connection. But what is that connection? That's what it's like dealing with MAGA. Epstein's awful and all of this terribleness and yes, Spike, exactly. But of course, and I've heard Megyn Kelly saying this, but of course Trump never did anything. Well, of course. Valoria Thompson twins? Hold me now? Doctor? I don't know. Anyway. All right, MAGA. I mean, he still has all the supporters. This is the Queen of Wands to his King of Wands. So you have the supporters, even though they're feeling more isolated. Wow, that's a lot of major arcana all in a row. I think there's going to be more of an issue once the government cuts really start cutting deep. Because they're already MAGA's already financially on shaky ground, and this really turned things. And as their financial situation gets even worse, there's no reason then at that point, with no Epstein list, nothing to see there, and all of the cuts to their social safety net, and prices going up because there aren't people to harvest food in the fields. Yeah. Finally, we're going to start seeing the slide off. Oh, Evelyn says the Van Helsing series on Netflix I really enjoyed. Okay, I thought you were saying something about Van Helsing, and I assumed you were talking about the White House and Stephen Miller and okay. So Virgo says, I'm still processing the part here. He wanted to be a flute player of all instruments. I know, right? Did I hallucinate that? I don't take drugs. I'm always sober. I don't drink. He said that. It's on video. Anyway. Bernie says, I've only seen poll numbers in the tank for Trump. Yeah, even, what are they called? Rasmussen? No. I think that's a cough medicine, isn't it? Who's his favorite pollster? Even they were saying it's looking bad. Yes, Bernadette. Nazi Ferratu. Yes. Sandra says, don't pick on the flute. Most professional flutists are men. I am absolutely not picking on flutists. No. I'm talking about one of those vile human beings to ever be on the planet who's done vast amount of damage. Suddenly he's saying, oh yeah, I wanted to play this beautiful this beautiful instrument that's what? Robitussin, yes. No, Rasmussen, is that the name of the Rasmussen, Robitussin? Who cares? Yeah, they were saying Lewis, I'm afraid I don't know what that means. Rasmussen, thank you. Rasmussen reports. Thank you, Amy. Well, his father didn't let him. So CC Ryder says Rasmussen is a right-wing polling company. Never trust their polls. They skew their numbers. Absolutely. But even they were saying, oh, this isn't looking good. Oh, yeah, but you talk to Trump, of course. It's his victory, blah, blah, blah. No, it's the secrets, the lies, the everything being hidden for so long, sleepless nights, not in good financial situations, and then it gets even worse. So whatever support Trump has now, I just keep picking up on it eroding. So yes, Wayne, he would be the best flutist ever. Yes. Anyway. All right. Okay, we need to look at this. 30 to 15. I'm hoping this is much ado about nothing. But Retelling Savoy was asking about this, and there's one angle of it I specifically wanted to look at. Retelling Savoy said much blather about Mandani, Spanberger, and other candidates facing voters this November. Will these Democrats run local races or national races? Okay. I specifically wanted to talk about Mandani because, believe it or not, I saw a headline with a graphic, and it was talking about the Trump Mandani voter. How you get there from, I have no idea how to get there from here. Why you would even consider that, I don't know. But, and then of course you know that they're absolutely going after anyone who dares try to politic while not lily white. Okay. Yes, there's a general agreement in the chat that he does have a lot of hot air. Terry has the quote, and Trump said, "Your son is brilliant at music. He'd be an incredible musician. This is not what my father wanted to hear." So gifted, with tears in his eyes. Sir, the greatest musical genius ever to grace us. No, he must follow in the family business. Oh gosh, it's painful. Burnett says, if being white is so great, why is the felon always changing his color to orange? I've been asking that for a long time. How can these people manage to be so deeply racist, but then do everything they can to minimize their Caucasian features? Big lips, big, huge, extra large lips instead of wussy Caucasian lips. Huge in the beam. Let's put it that way. Bigger than naturally. Weird. I've never been able to wrap my head around that. But Mandani is specifically talking about how things are going to go there. Ms. Gibson says, I really believe Trump loves to lie. Oh, yes, he does. There was something up here. Yeah, did you hear this Trump talking about how his uncle was at Harvard? No, MIT. Yeah, he was at MIT. And Trump was saying that his uncle taught at MIT for 50 years. And he taught Ted Kaczynski. It's not possible that he taught Ted Kaczynski. Ted Kaczynski was at Harvard, I believe. But even the years don't match. He did this just the other day. He just tells this story, and it has nothing to do with reality. Mandani has a point. Certainly, in New York, Trump isn't super popular. Trump thinks that any mayor of New York can be corrupted. I'm not saying he hasn't been right in the past, just Queen of Cups. This is a refusal, but it's smaller. People are going to vote. Democrats are going to vote for Mandani. I'd feel better if this was a bigger card. CC Runner says, I don't understand the question about these candidates running local or national races. It depends on what their focus is. I mean, if they're focused on like the rats in New York, that's running a local race. If they're focused on the ACA, well, that helps their people, but it's also a national thing. So, yeah, people will vote. It's just, there's judgment. It's just weak. It's just there. It's either going to be a toddle, just a shoo-in, or there's just so much else going on that's just overshadowing. It's weird. I'm getting positive cards, but they're weak, if that makes any sense. So, okay. At 38:45. Okay, Cosmic Goat Lady was asking about are Mikey and Vance working together to oust Trump. Oh, 39. Actually, let's circle back to this general topic and look at Mikey the Heretic's part in it. All right, Speaker Mikey, he hates everything. Absolute heretic. Holier than us. Are you trying to work with Vance or whatnot to... Do you think there's writing on the wall for the Orange Menace? Or for the reading, what we're asking about is, I'm getting the Thief card. Yeah. I think it's just more a matter of seeing which way the wind's blowing, the lay of the land, as 'twere. I don't know. I get the sense that Mikey doesn't think that Vance is all that either. There's the Hope card in the middle. Four of Wands. It's a refusal, and there's the government. As long as what Mikey the Heretic, what he cares about is he's got this twisted thing that he said where, when confronted with the words of Jesus about loving your neighbor like yourself, welcoming the stranger, all of this, he said, that's something you should do on a personal level, not a national one. I'm sorry, did Jesus stutter? I don't think he stuttered. I'm pretty sure it's right. Miss Gibson, thank you. I will definitely be voting Democrat always. Thank you. Thank you. But he's just wait, as long as Vance is going to turn away to continue to do the awfulness, then yeah, sure, work together. But I'm not getting anything like planned between them. No, Murdoch and Vance, however, that energy is a whole different story. But entertainment only, you two. I'm going to mute this so I can have a sip of my coffee without deafening you. Okay. So, Mikey's got creepy energy. Melissa had an interesting question at 4240. Is the Grand Orange Poobah being haunted? Did you have anyone in mind? I mean, during his first administration, we would regularly check in on the White House ghosts. They had enough. He says, I thought my coffee cup was big. It's just useful. It's just... Ivana. Yeah, Veronica and Mara saying Ivana. I get the sense that if she's around, she's more around her kids. I don't think she's around him that much. So... Is Trump being haunted by anyone it's actually making any kind of difference? Ten of Wands, burden. He's got such low energy. He's got such low vibration energy. It's a miracle. He's like Epstein. When he pops out of his body, it's just going to sink into the more lower vibration compact areas. That's what's going to happen to Trump. He'll still be on it like that little tiny trickle charge connection to the divine. And someday, not that there's time, but at some point there will be enough higher vibration energy to like jumpstart the system. And Epstein and Trump and a bunch of other people. It jumpstarts the system, and then you kind of come back to yourself, not as the heinous person you were. You see the big picture, and it just crushes them inside to feel, just to really see and feel what they did in their lives and the cruelty. And at that point, then that's when they can start interacting with higher levels. But until then, no, they're just smushed. I like that. I like that, Lewis. It's the landfill of eternity, kind of. Yeah. I'm not getting anything major. I mean, I think the more the issue is, how toward the end of your life, your family spirits and friends from the other side start visiting more. I get more of that. And while you and I, there's nothing that could convince us to spend 1 nanosecond of our afterlife, his parents and some of his siblings. Who knows, maybe even Roy Cohn. Yeah, and he doesn't believe in any of this, so. Truth of labor, you can't take it with you, Donnie. No, he doesn't. No, he just blanks it out. And the reality is, you can. I mean, we have shields. We have these natural shields for a reason, and we can block out interference and negativity and what have you. But also, he's a blockhead, and he's a spiritual blockhead. So he's just dumb as a post when it comes to anything spiritual. He doesn't feel anything because his vibration's so low from his own choices. If you notice people with the highest vibrations, they tend to be nice. So at 47, like 30, Coral had a reference to Epstein's ex says he and Trump had a very close friendship and were up to no good. Well, I think we know that. The link got cut off. I'm just wondering, are you talking about the ghoul, or are you talking about his other girlfriends? Ugh. And oh, Cosmic Goat Lady. Let's move around to this topic for a few minutes. Speaking of Putin, there are stories coming out that it's worse than we even know in Russia. And Linda Sue asking, where did the gold in the Oval Office come from? Home Depot. It's literally, I forget if they're cement or plastic or something. They're just decorations, and then they bought cans of gold spray paint. Literally. So, yeah, things are apparently even worse. I heard a story last night that there were some Russian soldiers, or a bunch of Russian soldiers, who were told to attack a very established Ukrainian position at a transport hub of some nature, and they were told to attack it, but they weren't going to get any more ammunition or what have you, and there weren't going to be any reinforcements coming. And so they said, we're not doing it. And so their commander, the person in charge there, threatened to shoot them. So they shot him. And then that got back to the Lord High Muckety Mucks. And so they en masse just surrendered to Ukraine. It's not great. So it's a state of Russia. Well, we know Putin's not looking at the domestic situation. Just trying to keep everybody in line. King of Pentacles. He is so... King of Pentacles, Hermit. He's so far up his own... Let's put it this way. It's very dark where he's keeping his cranium. Yeah, beaten up. But Putin doesn't feel it. He has $1 billion house. Sun card. It's just more and more, the glory of Russia. But it's more and more obvious. There's the government, but he's not. He's got his mind on the war. Yeah, the Russians will. The people will take care of themselves, almost kind of thing. Yes, visualize 70. So far up his Northwest Passage? Yes. Raymond says, mutiny is not a good sign things are going well. Or not. It's not a good sign. Things are not going well. Yes. This kid asked, does Putin use food tasters? I believe so. I'm short a card. He's so delusional. All right, that was weird. Okay. Yeah, he's... All right, I might need to get out of this energy. I'll ask her this, and then I'll get out of this energy, because I'm suddenly starting to feel... I'm fine, by the way. But I'm in this energy, and I'm starting to feel woozy. Floating a little bit. Is Russia bad? Empty. They've taken everything. The men have come and taken the food, the supplies, this poverty. Day late and a dollar short, adding insult to injury. Page of Pentacles. Of course, they've taken the young men, those who didn't flee the country, very smartly. Four of Cups, and sitting pretty. The haves and the have-nots. And there are fewer and fewer of the haves, because apparently one of the things Putin's starting to do is, you know how several of the oligarchs have suddenly done an air inspection and done an air and concrete inspection in rapid succession. Yeah, that. Apparently, it isn't just, they've been disloyal, or they're questioning me. Apparently, it's to get their money. Because they're so low on money. I guess I was doing that the other way because I just turned the cards face down. Yes, visualize 78. Concrete strength test. Yes. I love that, Kelly, the 3 bells. Ding, ding, ding. That is awesome. They're still throwing everything they have at it, but Ukraine's not giving up. They're going to win. Russia will run out of everything. It'd be better if it happened sooner rather than later, but at the same time, I don't want people suffering. But again, I mean, I don't blame the Russian people any more than, or I don't blame all the Russian people in the same way I don't think people can blame all the Americans for dumpy, because we are saying everything we can. I'm here every day. What was on the cover? 2,400. Was it 2,438 videos on this channel? Something like that. And they're all anti-fascist, anti-cruelty, yeah. So, okay. Oh, Ming, thank you so much. Ming and Brian, thank you so much. It makes a huge difference. Thank you. Oh, am I buffering? Thank you. Yeah, I'm getting a low internet warning. So, all right. That will, between that and, excuse me, it being about an hour. Okay, I'm going to call it for today, but I'll be back tomorrow. And I'm here every single day. Seriously, I have been for over 5.5 years. Other than 2 emergencies, I've been here every single day. So your questions are very important to me. The ones I didn't answer, I'll roll over to tomorrow. We'll get to them. And we'll go through the news with friends. I mean, that's what we're doing here. All right? So thank you. You're not alone. We are in this together. There are good days ahead. There are. All right? So hang in there. It is 1:15 here in Chicago. At 3 o'clock, I'll be over on the Creative Sprints channel. It's Sarah's day off, but I'll be there. And hopefully you can stop by and pick a project, pick anything. And we just focus on our work. Then we let our brains recover, encourage each other, do some more work. Just being not talking about politics and just being productive. So that's on the Creative Sprint channel in about an hour and 45 minutes. Link is in the description. All right, that'll do it. Thank you. And I'll see you very soon. Okay.